So I feel like for a while you've been good at suggesting new shows for me. Dairy Girls was like a big one. This, I don't know how I feel about this season, but Aziz Ansari's Master of None, season 3 just came out.
I did hear about this.
It's very different.
Because it's like, he's not the main person anymore, right? I was reading something about that.
He's not the main person. It's all about Lena Waithe.
Mm-hmm.
And Aziz is in it a little bit, but it's artsy and there's not a lot of comedy. It's quite interesting. So you'll have to let me know if you're up for it. I say go for it, mainly because I want to know what you think.
Okay. Well, commitment is hard sometimes, but sometimes I do it. I did just start rewatching all of Broad City.
Oh!
And, you go through that quickly.
Timeless.
So that'll be done soon. Oh my God. And I wanted to tell you, because I forgot, that's how amazing the show is. The one episode when Alana gets fired from the Deals and the one coworker who hates her, I don't know her name, but she's funny. And so Alana gets fired, and then the coworker starts singing the song from Sister Act 2, where she's like, joyful, joyful. And it turns into a Sister Act 2, montage of, all the coworkers from the show, dancing. And then Whoopi is there dressed as a nun, and she literally turns around and is and she's in, one scene, and then they're like, wake up, you, passed out or something. She's like, I just had a daydream.
God,
I'm like, get out.
I don't remember that, but wow.
So I think it had to have been, the second season, so it's so funny. Oh my God.
Wow.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hi there!
Hello!
Welcome back.
Welcome back, listeners. How y'all doing? Okay, good. I'm glad you're doing good. As I paused, Bridget was doing a head thing, and I
don't know why, but I was like, let's hear the crowd. Oh wait, we talked to ourselves.
It was like a snake. It was good. I like that.
Also, I kept thinking, and my brain's not going fast enough, lace up your skates, get your puck, let's do this. Quack,
I love how you
quack,
thought that
quack,
and
quack.
said nothing. Quack, quack, quack. Oh my God, so many quacks. Wait, do you remember when you texted me earlier and you were like, hey, here's a drinking game?
Yes. Did you pay attention?
I did, and I feel like there could be a lot of other things. Drink every time there's a quack, and then you're dead on the floor. Oh, jeez. It's so real.
I love it so much.
It's so real. All right, well, let me introduce ourselves, because clearly we have a burning passion for this 90s children's sports movie. So, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And quack. Quack.
Quack.
Quack. Quack. Quack.
Yeah! Go Ducks!
I know, they don't say mighty in there. They left out the mighty in that chant.
They have certain scenes, they put it in. They're like,
yeah,
you're the Mighty Ducks. And you're like, thank God, because it was getting a little awkward. Nobody brought that up.
I'm like, y'all need some type of adjective, because you can preach about how cool ducks are all you want, Emilio Estevez, but just throw mighty in there, and that's all we need. Bridge, what's our movie this week?
The 1992 classic, Mighty Ducks.
Number 1. We all know it's close, but it's not the best one.
Not the best one.
It's not the best one.
Sets up the franchise.
But it's the second best.
To the second.
Yeah. Second one's the best. Okay?
Hands down.
Okay. As long as we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 1992. How old were you in 1992?
6? Because I'm like 4 to 5 years older than you, right?
Yeah, you're 5. I was 1 years old, so I did not see this when this came out. But I'm wondering if you did. Like, do you remember seeing this? Like,
no.
Okay.
This was kind of like middle school-ish, and then eventually kind of, I don't know, a classic. Like, I feel like I told you, my senior year of high school, we had one Halloween costume because it was a Catholic school, and we picked Mighty Ducks.
Yep, I love it.
So,
it's amazing.
Yeah. And that was a long time. That was like 12 years after or whatever. Okay, I'm trying to think who should do the synopsis.
I really want you to do it.
Okay, I feel like I normally write down the sentence, but I didn't this time, so I'm going to have to just spitball it.
You know, you do you. Do what
feels right. Okay.
Ask yourself, what would Gordon Bombay do?
What would Emilio Estevez do? So, we take you to the frigid, cold Minnesota.
Oh, okay. I was like,
You're like, where are we going?
Yep.
And there, right away, is a flashback scene of who, you ask? We don't know, because we just immediately go to the flashback scene that has been used over and over and over in the entire movie. And it is a little kid that has to make the final penalty shot in the big hockey game championship and misses. And his coach hates him for it.
What a loser! The 7-year-old missed the goal!
Which
Boo!
doesn't necessarily age well. And then we meet that little sad boy who grows up to be an evil, terrible lawyer.
He does.
Whose name is Gordon Bombay. And we quickly see him being terrible. And then he just gets a DUI, folks. What Disney movie? DUI, you ask? You bet, loud and clear, and he kind of laughs about it, makes a drunk joke to the cop. What? That definitely would not happen now.
Don't worry, because he's a rich white guy, so, like, it gets solved very seamlessly. Thanks, Disney. Great.
Thanks for wrapping that up.
Thanks, Disney. Keeping it real, I see. Okay.
I literally wrote, got free, because he's a rich white dude.
Yep, I wrote Krusty in mine, but yes.
So, part of his law agency, Ducksworth, that's a little hint, folks, tells him that, you know what, he needs to stop living his life all about work, and he's too intense, and, you know, this DUI, this is just too much. He needs to figure out how to be more fair as a lawyer. Yeah, freaking right, this conversation happens.
I know, I'm like, the boss is telling you to?
Yeah,
no,
please.
That's not right.
And so, for the image of the firm, he spoke to the judge. Don't worry, he still gets his salary. Doesn't lose his job.
Oh my god, I know! I was like, god damn it! White men!
So terrible. And he has to do 500 hours of community service. What is that community service, folks? The Ducks coach. So, you go back to that flashback and you know that as a 7-year-old, he never dealt with his problems, and so this is very traumatic. What is he, like, in his 30s? Awkward. Like, really?
He has to be at least older, and that's why it's so funny when Hans comes in later, but that's for later. So,
we have to talk about him.
You're doing great.
Thanks. So, we see his, I'm so mad I have to do community service because I still get paid, kept my job, got off scotch-free for a DUI, and all I have to do is coach young kids that don't have a lot of privilege. So I'm going to put on my best suit, a limo, and drive to their first practice. And not only that, I'm going to drive on the ice because...
Well, that's actually a company car, which makes it all even funnier because we literally rewarded the DUI guy with a limo. So think of the lessons we're teaching right now. Okay.
That's right. Yep. I go, he'll still get his salary and he gets a limo to go do community service. What the living fuck?
Yep, sure does. What's happening?
So he meets the kids, and I think this is what saves this movie, is the kids are the only ones that then start like speaking the truth, and they make fun of him, and they tell him he's a cake eater, which we know.
That's on the drinking game list that we're making up as we do this podcast, because what even?
You don't want to be a cake eater. Like, that's not good. Like, in 1992, Minnesota, don't be a cake eater.
But, like, I might be one. I don't know. Like, geez. I was like, of all the foods, come on. Come on.
So they basically ignore his ridiculousness. He's a jerk. He's being a jerk. And it all kind of ends where they take over his limo. They basically bum rush him and they ask for a ride. And then we see little Joshua Jackson, aka Charlie Conway.
I was like, who the F is that? But
you don't know? Wait, Kate, Dawson's Creek?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Everything leads back to Dawson's Creek, Bridget.
It is my Degrassi. We know this now.
No.
So his mother, and Charlie kind of tends to be the kid pseudo-captain, if you will. But his mother comes on the ice and loses it because why the heck are a ton of kids in a limo on the ice? They're all going to die. And she's like the only normal adult.
And there's a guy who just got a DUI in there.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the children.
Yeah. I'm not... Really, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Terrible. Yeah. So they move on, and in terms of detail-wise, we basically see the arc of Gordon Bombay remove his jerkiness and become a better person through teaching the kids and through, I'd like to say, his mystic No,
Yoda's good. I like that.
Yoda Hans, who's sharpening his skates in the dark.
Like a serial killer.
And even makes a joke and slices his finger and says, they're not that sharp. What, Hans?
And then he's like, you used to always fall for that one. I was like, why are you making these jokes with the children, Hans? What's going on?
So,
don't do that.
Hans is like, Gordon, you're a jerk and you need to get your act together. And he's like, really? I am? And then he starts to kind of take that father figure, change his ways. He's got a great arc. I think that's what makes the movie better, is you go from not liking him to slowly liking him. And the kids are always kind of hesitant of him, but then eventually start kind of following and they believe him. I think there's some stupid side plots where Charlie's mom and him have to date. Come on. God. So annoying.
That ain't in the sequel, y'all. Don't worry.
Thank
that's why it's better.
God. I was
nonsense.
get rid of this.
Yes.
And the kids go on to start kicking butt. I mean, it gets kind of dynamic where he steals a player because of the boundary lines, and he gets a kid off the street who didn't know how to ice skate, and then he takes a crazy ice skater and brings her on her her brother, and it's fun and wacky, and it had a little bit of Little Giants vibes to me too. Of
definitely.
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
Oh,
we all know that play. And
Giants, help us, God.
And he gets to basically see this coach that when he was 7 years old that told him he was a loser, he gets to play the coach and beat him. And in the meantime, he also takes off his ugly lawyer mask, being a terrible person, and realizes that these people he looked up to were terrible to him. And it's this beautiful, lovely arc, and they win. And how do you not quack? Woo!
I love it. Quack, quack,
quack, quack, quack, quack. Go
That was great, Bridge.
Was it? I feel like that was pretty long.
No, it was great.
I think the thing, watching it now, that was the biggest change for me was how terrible Emilio Estevez is in the beginning. Wow. What, he basically blackmailed a judge in the middle of a case? Is that what happened?
Honestly, Bridge, I didn't understand any of it. It sounded like mumbling to me. I know he was saying words, but I didn't know any of it. And I just it happened so fast. So I was like, we're not going to rewind. We're just going to, we know it's shifty. So we'll just move on. But yeah, so very interesting. But there is I think I said this last time, Disney Plus has a show that's a Mighty Ducks show. It's a somewhat revival, and Emilio's in it, and I think some of the kids are in it too.
Oh, I gotta check that out. The Mighty Ducks
No.
Game Changers.
Yeah. But that's when man. Disney's listen, we knew what we made, and we're gonna mold it with some new clay, some 2021 clay.
Yeah.
And we're gonna bust it out again. But in a TV show form, so you have to have
They're
a
this is our Spider-Man Batman. We're gonna keep remaking it.
Don't ever remake the second one, ever, in my lifetime. I'll be so upset. But you can make shows. That's cool.
So we hate Emilio, and did you feel like the flashback to him as a little kid was so
dramatic?
Overused? Yeah, dramatic and overused.
I did, because this was the type of credits where it's like in the beginning and it's like long and drawn out and they're playing like really dramatic, like sad music, and you're like, whoa, like who died? And then you're like, oh, JK, no one's dead. Don't worry. It's just 7-year-olds playing ice hockey. What the fuck? Why is this like this?
And they wait until like a quarter into the movie to make the like note, oh, he also lost his dad that year.
Oh, that's true. Someone totally did die, guys. That's true. But it was off screen.
But they didn't bring it up until later. So it's like, wait, why couldn't we see him like go to a funeral for his dad and then miss the shot and like see this little kid make this big thing out of this moment because his dad died? Not because he like lost a shot, but it's so dramatic. And then do you remember that scene where it had all the titles in the hockey rink up that were all like the Wolves except the 1 year, and the coach comes up behind him and he's like, I tried to get him to take that down because it's all your fault, Gordon. Like 30 years later, I'm still holding on to a grudge.
Yeah, must be a small town because we got nothing else to worry about here. What's happening?
I'm just gonna say this, and I realize this is judgy and mean, but like, dude, you're like a peewee hockey coach. Like, check yourself. Like, really? Like, get over yourself.
Bridget, it's not rude if it's real, and that's pretty real, so don't ever apologize.
I was like, wait, so he grows up to be a lawyer, and yes, lawyers are their own whatever, but like, you're still a peewee hockey coach, and you're gonna make fun of his 7-year-old goal he missed? What's wrong with you?
Wait, but yeah, what you said with the whole dad thing, you're so right, because they do this flashback, like, I don't even know how many times, but the first time the coach says this thing about, like, you don't want to let your teammates down, do you?
Yeah.
That'll make you play better, won't it? And you're like,
shame.
That doesn't help at all. But then he doesn't say all of his speech part in that flashback, and then in one of the other flashbacks that we see later, they add in more of his speech, and that's where the guy says, I know we wish your dad was here. Like, he says something about the dad, where he's like, oh, if only your dad was here to see this, or like, he would have loved to see ya, or something, and you're like, oh, is that, what is that? What?
Well, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi, aka Hans, is like, know, when he's talking to him, and Gordon's like, that's the year I lost my dad, and Hans is like, I know, I became your unofficial father that will show up 30 years later, taking your ice skates and sharpening them.
We got to put a pin on Hans, because we're going to get there. I would very much like to go kind of sequentially as I'm looking at my notes, because this is not super long. So
no, it's not.
Yes, 7-year-old misses a shot. The kid probably just learned how to skate last week because he's 7. So like, I don't understand.
Hold on, did you notice? Because I have this question.
Is it the spotlight? Are you going to say about the spotlight?
No, I'm going to throw out this question, and I need to know if you felt this. Why is Pennywise the goalie in this flashback? Did you see that? If you look at the goalie that he's playing against, it has the creepiest hockey mask on ever. Like literally Michael from Halloween and Pennywise.
Wait, why did
I swear to God.
Pennywise?
Because to me it had a Pennywise vibe, but you could add in a bunch of serial killers. Please look this up right now.
Okay, I looked up Mighty Ducks goalies and only Goldberg is popping up, so this is not gonna work. Oh jeez, and it's all this drug photo. Oh god, I gotta get out of here. I didn't notice that, but I believe you. I thought you were gonna say how crazy it was that when, again, the 7-year-old child misses a penalty shot, which like seems normal to me because he's like 7, the person who has the spotlight decides to spotlight on the little kid that is now visibly crying on the ice alone, and it's like all dark and there's literally a spotlight. Like the guy's like, well, better get this guy. And I was like, that's what? Who is working here with the children?
You know, I have to say, I have like a high sensitivity to parents or like coaches of little kids that are really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like if we have kids and I'm in that situation, I'm going to be the parent to like knock someone on their mother.
You gonna get put in the penalty box.
Because like, I'm gonna need 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Get him in there.
You think about that guy as a coach and you're like, ugh, that's how you like treat 7-year-olds? What's wrong with you?
They're literally 7.
Ugh.
I'm pretty sure. So
then, okay, so we get to his like lawyer career that both you and I have no idea what's happening, but we definitely know he's a jerk.
We know he's a jerk, and we know that his boss has a name related to duck because he says the word duck duck like 800 times. That's another part of the drinking game, is anytime Gordon Bombay says the word duck, again, we're going to be dead, so.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ducksworth.
Oh my God. He's like, I got to get my duck phone and get the duck this. And I was like, what's a duck phone? Like, what do you mean? What does that mean? That was weird. And then I don't even, why did he even drunk drive? Like, was there a scene where he was like mad at something, or?
I think he was straight up celebrating his like evil victory.
By
like getting drunk.
A beer alone in the car during a snowstorm?
No, I think he was like drinking at the office and then like left late. But he also, it was like a really annoying scene in the movie where he's not only driving drunk, but he tries to like make it funny. Like he's swerving in the lanes and like laughing. I'm like, I hate this. Nothing about it's funny. And then he like makes a joke to the cop that he like can't speak. I'm just like, nope, doesn't work in 2021. Come up with another thing that he needs community service for.
The only good thing was it was like a super quick scene. Like it didn't feel too drawn out. And
no, totally.
But what's funny about that is like, because these scenes are moving so quickly, after that, when he obviously gets like arrested, whatever, the next scene is he's back in the courtroom. It is the literal same exact courtroom he's just in about a minute ago with the same exact people. We're all wearing the same outfits. And I was like, y'all aren't fooling no one, because I know you filmed this on the same day. Okay, like at least give someone a different tie. Like we're not even trying. This is so absurd.
That was Bob's wardrobe choice. He was like, like, no one will know. No one will know. It's fine.
I knew fine. Bob. God damn it. And they were literally standing in the same spots. And then the other lawyer was like, well, we're back here again. And I was like, yeah, we know. Like, it's like you guys like filmed this like one after another. So weird. So weird, guys.
Oh my God.
So then that's where the boss is like, I'm rich and white. Don't even worry about it. I got it. And that was the worst.
It was so gross, and they go through it really quickly. And then instead of Emilio Estevez being like, oh my God, thank God, he was like, I can't work.
Ugh.
So hold on. You're telling me if my freaking boss said to me today, you have to go to community service, I'm still going to pay you your salary and you don't have to show up to work? I'd be like, I'm sorry, did I hit the lottery? Because that sounds amazing. Like, hell yeah. And he was so mad. He was like, I need to work. My life is working. And he's like, well, Gordon, that's the point. As the head of the legal office, I'm going to have a big conscience to make sure that you do the right thing in life. You're like, shut up.
The right thing would be to subvert the law with your money and power and get off easy for the good sake of our name. Let's do it. Yeah, that's exactly
And then he's like, Gordon, I'll give you a limo, okay? I'll give you the limo. And I'm like, this is so, like, early 90s, late 80s.
Gordon, here's your own credit card. Get whatever you need. Okay. You know, it's on us. You had a hard time getting arrested.
I straight up had some real Home Alone 2 vibes when... It goes from his limo, and then the next scene is the, like, local kids, aka the Ducks, that pull that prank where they, like, put poop in a bag, and it's like...
poop again!
It's so weird. But did you remember how it, like, did the fast forward when they were running away? It was like...
Oh, my God. Yes.
I was like, dude, they totally robbed this from Home Alone.
I was gonna say, the music definitely sounded like Home Alone, but sped up. But then also I thought of Little Rascals, because it was like, they do a lot of those, like, sped up running scenes in Little Rascals, too.
Yeah, so the kids go into a dumpster to get a purse, and then they feed a dog food, and then they wait for the dog to poop. Then they put poop in the purse, put like $1, and then just see if somebody tries to steal a purse.
My fan theory is this town is really boring. Which is why kids do that for fun. And the only entertainment in the town is the Pee Wee Hockey League of 7-year-olds. So that's the only explanation that makes sense, I think.
I was like, wait, kids, this is fun? Like, you could do anything else, but we're gonna, like, go in the dumpster for a purse?
They did. But, you know, it's fine, because even though they literally had no coach, they all knew to congregate in one central location to play hockey with no adults. But they're supposed to be adults. where the fuck are the adults? And then when Charlie's mom is like, how dare you, so irresponsible. I'm like, how dare you irresponsible? Because your kid's been alone out here and there's no supervision. Who knows what could have happened? Jesus. A lot of shenanigans.
But Gordon's pretty, like, mean to the kids. He's like, you're losers. I hate you. I don't want to be here. Let's see how you play. Oh, you guys suck. I'm gonna go sit in my car.
Wait, I'm not gonna lie. I did love this. And I don't think Disney was this clever and, like, trying to be clever, but I thought it was pretty funny. Where when Gordon comes out and he's, like, talking to the kids, the kid Jesse, who I didn't know his name was Jesse till maybe the last 5 minutes of the movie. And then I was like, oh, your name is Jesse. Got it. Jesse is one of the black kids. And he literally is the first one to talk. And he goes up to Gordon and he's like, listen, sir, we're not interested in buying your drugs, okay? And I thought that was the funniest thing ever because I was like, this kid knows what's up. He knows that this is a rich, crusty old white man who's gonna try to sell some opioids and try to cheat the system because he's already a DUI, breaking the law person, and he knows the real deal, and he is trying to stick up for his friends, and that's pretty awesome. He's a great upstander. And then, he didn't have drugs at all. But, like, still, I was like, I appreciate the panache. I will say it.
Panache is a good word.
I thought
He's
really
had to
great.
grow up more than the other little white kids. Let's just say that.
He sure did. And all the other kids were like, wow, look at the limo. And he's like, guys, don't be fooled. And I was like, you're right, Jesse. Don't talk to strangers. My God.
I think Jesse Hall was one of the best characters, and he called everybody a cake eater, and I loved it. And he was the only real one.
I still don't support the cake eater insult, but I support him. Also, he was in The Sandlot. Okay, I was trying to figure out what else he was from. He was in The Sandlot.
All right, so we get to the best dialogue ever, which is them in this scene talking to Gordon Bombay, which starts to save the movie, because I was like kind of losing it. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like anything about this movie. This is weird. This is stupid. I'm not feeling it. And like all of a sudden they start talking and you're like, boom, this is why I like the movie.
Yeah. I liked all the kids too.
All of them. They all played the perfect part. They were like just a little annoying and then they would like change.
Yep.
It's perfect.
There's one part where who's the kid with the glasses? That would be like
Averman?
The Goodster.
Yeah, Averman.
The Bubster. Averman was his name?
Uh-huh.
So he's like being annoying, and then the girl, Connie, literally comes out of nowhere and she slams him to the ground, and then she casually skates over to Gordon Bay. She's like, hey coach, I'm Connie. I'm like, wow, what an introduction. What a queen. Keep it up. Amazing. I love it. They did a good job of, like, equally giving different kids, like, screen time. I mean, Charlie the most, definitely, but, like, I didn't feel like there was one that I was like, who are you? Well, actually, that's not true. Towards the end, there were some. Because we just kept adding children to the team. I don't know.
We did add children.
Is there a limit? Who knows?
Who knows? But they're just, the original crew was amazing. And the thing that I also didn't understand is then they immediately start, like, a hockey game the next day. So I'm like, wait, don't we have like a season where we like practice? And it's like, JK, where you are now. Like, what happened to the other coach? Did you remember what they said?
They said, because he asked that, he's like, where's your other coach? And they were like, he just like screamed a lot and then his arm stopped working. And Gordon was like, what? And then one of the kids was like, it was like this. And he like imitated like a heart attack. And Gordon very calmly goes, heart attack. And then we all move on. And that was all we got. So I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but...
Damn, these kids have seen stuff in this boring town. Am I right? They're like, we're not buying your drugs. Yeah, you had a heart attack. We put poop in a bag. What do you want from us?
Poop in a bag. It's just normal. It's normal kid stuff, you know. Totally.
Oh
yeah, they have that game, and that's where he sees the coach that is the worst. He sucks.
Which all I remember is Jack. Did he have a last name? I just wrote like Jack.
Didn't even write his name. I just wrote he was the evil coach because I'm like, there's only one.
The evil coach.
Yeah.
So, and then they show the like winning championship for the team, except for the Gordon Bombay year.
Drama.
Can you imagine? Let's pretend this is like tennis with you, and you when you were 7 ruined the one tennis match of this world championship. You go back as like a 30-something-year-old. And the coach is like, yeah, Katie, that was like the 1 year you ruined it for us. Like, wouldn't you laugh in their face? Wouldn't you be like, stop it? Are you being for real right now? What?
My notes for this part, I go, somehow his old coach recognizes Gordon Bombay like 40 years later. Wow. And then he was attacked. So I was like, okay, so nothing's changed. You've learned nothing in these 40 years.
I got his full name. Coach Jack Riley.
Ugh.
What a...
He sounds like a...
Okay, so they get crushed in this game.
They do. They lose.
And Gordon Bombay's a jerk. He's, like, screaming at them that they're, like, losers, and...
Yeah.
Then
the next scene, we meet Fulton. Thank God.
Ooh.
I mean, we don't really meet him. He just, like, appears in an alley and, like, scares away some evil kids, and then he, like, leaves.
It was very, like, Karate Kid vibe. Like, like they were all getting beat up by these, like, other hockey players for no reason, and then Fulton shows up, and he's, like, Miyagi, like, "Aww."
That's literally what happened.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I wrote this note, I go, because now they're playing, they're still, is this still the game? Okay, so Fulton was at the game then. That's weird. Why are you going to games of teams you don't,
I think because I think because he, like, wants to play, but he doesn't know how to skate, but nobody's asked him, remember? And then he, like...
Well, I don't think any of the other kids know how to skate at this point either, because literally everyone keeps falling on the ice.
Yeah, they're kind of bad.
I'm like, Fulton, get in there. Like, you'll be alright.
Also, another Disney thing we just casually skipped over is the reason they were, like, in the alley before, like, the evil kids showed up to beat them is they were looking at porn magazines.
Was it porn or was it sport? What's that magazine? Sportswear? No, wait. Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated.
Wow, that was a long S, Kate. I don't know, I just put, like, porn magazines, and then they got beat up, and then we see Fulton.
Oh, and then this is where Gordon starts to teach them how to cheat.
Which, like, I kind of was like, that's hilarious. He's like, just take some falls, and then literally the ref is like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they're not even good cheaters. Like, you can't even, like, what is happening? And then Charlie is very upset because he is the high ground moral compass and he refuses to do it. And then Gordon gets mad at him, which is a very Coach Jack Riley move. And oof, here we are.
Yeah, and then some random dad. Oh, I think this was the dad of Jesse.
Jesse's dad, yeah.
His brother's name was. The dad was like, I didn't take off of work to watch my kids try and cheat. And I'm like, sir, I don't know. Did you need to take off work? All right. That's so nice of you. Like, you're so being supportive.
He goes, I gave up my overtime for kids to take falls.
Oh, boy, the drama. Woo! I know. It was literally like Charlie's mom and then that guy. And, like, that was the only parents we ever saw. Like, ever. Everyone else might be an orphan.
They don't have parents.
There's no adults. It's fine. It's the 90s. It's how you do, you know?
And like Fulton, we see Hans in the stands. And then Gordon gets a quick glimpse. And they both kind of lock eyes.
And then Hans, like, disappears into the wisp. And I literally was like, I didn't remember Hans. And I was like, is he an actual ghost? But then, no, he's not a ghost. He is a real person. And when we see him, Gordon, like, walks into this, like, creepy little Santa's workshop with ice skates, and Hans has his back turned, and he goes, is that you, Gordon? And he was like, how'd you know? And then he was like, 'cause you always came in here. And I was like, but it's 40 years later, Hans. What are you talking about? Why do we all know what Gordon looks like? Like, he's older.
Hans, what is your skincare routine? Because you have not aged a bit. Like, you should literally be very old at this point.
Yeah. Hans is definitely a German vampire who, like, you know, all he lives for are these Pee-wee hockey children because, like, there's nothing else in the town. That's what keeps him going.
I have to read my line about Hans.
Oh my god.
Hans becomes his mystic and tells him to teach them how to fly.
He straight up says, I was like, all right, that's a little too much, sir. Oh my. There's also a line he says, and I might have imagined it, but I don't think I did. Like, I feel like he said this really quickly, and then nobody commented on it, and we moved on, where he goes, you probably thought I was dead. And then they literally kept talking, and I was like, I thought you were dead. Were you talking to me? Or was that, like, my brain? Did my brain imagine you saying that? I don't know. Do you remember that line, or was it me?
No, he definitely said that. And
I was like, why are you saying that, huh? Hans. Like, what does that mean?
Do you think the writers were like, we have to address this? I mean, he didn't age one bit. We lost the makeup artist that day. It's just not working.
I don't even know. I can't. Ugh. And then, you know what? It's cool though, because, you know, you get free ice skates when you hang with Hans. So that, I guess, was cool. And then don't worry, we got more flashbacks. Yeah. Flashbacks of a 7-year-old on the ice. Yeah.
And this is where we see his, like, dad, and we see him happy, and, like, every midlife crisis, he's like, what did I do when I was 7? And I should stop being a lawyer and ice skate again. And everyone's like, yeah. And then he decides to start turning into, like, a better person. He goes back to Mr. Ducksworth and is like, listen, the problem with the kids is the uniforms, is the pads.
That's the only problem. Definitely. Not that they can't skate. That's fine. And we're fine with that.
And Kate, how much do we think, like, new uniforms and pads cost for, like, 8 kids?
Not 15,000. Yo, he definitely pocketed, like, $8,000 of that. There's no way. We saw a ring up and it was only like 7,000. I'm like, yo, where'd that other money go, Gordon?
And do you love how Hans is like, my plan worked perfectly. $15K right into my Santa's workshop. God
damn it, Hans! I know, I can't.
So then we start getting into like fun stuff where he is teaching them how to like really play hockey with the eggs. And he's like teaching them to like catch and, you know, receive. And this is like when they actually get taught something.
Oh, and right before this, he recruits more children who... He sees a girl spinning on the ice, doing ice skating, and then there's a little boy who, I don't know, wasn't doing anything, but I guess he had ice skates on, and Gordon's like, we must have them! And someone's like, that's Tammy and Tommy, and they're in my class. And I'm like, are they old enough? Whatever. Fine, get him on here. And it was Danny Tamborelli, Bridget.
I was just gonna say, and do we know who the kid was? Which was Pete and Pete, right? Am I getting that right?
He's from Pete and Pete. He was in all that. He also was from one of my best friend, Jen, shout out Jen, from her hometown, and he used to work at the Stop and Shop. I don't know if that was pre or post all that, but...
Wow.
Yeah, Danny Tamborelli, wow.
Wow.
He was one of the kids, and I was like, I don't think I know you well enough. Like, I just, like, you're here, but, like, are you? And, like, also, Tammy does one thing, and I guess that's cool, but, didn't need her, but, you know, whatever.
Well, for like, she literally played one play that helped.
Did one. Yeah, she did one.
First of all, can you just imagine as a parent where you're like, hey, why aren't you practicing your ice skating? Where'd you go? Some man came up to me and recruited me to come play at his hockey team. I'd be like, what? Like, they never had to, like, get any parent at all, like, convinced. They just had the kids show up.
Some man is teaching all the other orphans how to play hockey, so I'm gonna go do that. Ugh. Here I go.
So Disney. They're like, we don't need adults. We don't need parents. Screw the moms. They're just there for the love scenes.
Exactly.
And then we also see, which was a little PTSD for me as a lacrosse goalie in college, of them taping Goldberg to the net so he could learn that his pads work and he doesn't have to be afraid to get hit. Let me just tell you, with pads, that still hurts. Okay?
I was gonna say,
so, super rude, and then they all end practice and leave him, and I feel like we should all give Goldberg a hug, because that was mean.
Bridget, do you relate to Goldberg? Because you were both goalies, and he... Also, he was from Philly. Did you catch that?
Ooh, I did not.
He wore all Philly attire. He had like a Flyers jersey on at one point, and then he wore like a Pat's cheesesteak like shirt. And I was like, get out of here, Goldberg.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Oh yeah, then I wrote, Gordon starts macking it with Charlie's mom. Gross.
Ew, and Charlie was like into it. Charlie's like,
ew.
Hey, my mom is cool.
Ew,
like, and then there's like a weird tickle fight somewhere in there, and I hated it. And the mom is like watching through the window like, haha, and I was like, call the police.
He definitely was like his mom's wingman, and gross.
I hate that.
We're not. Okay, and then we also get a hockey puck smashed into, we've moved from a limo to like a fancier car, right?
Now it's a creepy van, which I'm van. Like, that fits better, honestly.
That fits better, uh-huh.
Yeah.
And we learn that Fulton's got this secret shot.
Is it like really a secret though? Because like I feel like anybody could do it, but...
No. Okay, Kate, I'm gonna just take us back to court.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I would go hang out with who we would play hockey, especially after like Mighty Ducks came out. We would try to do that shot. It is so hard to do.
Isn't it just a slap shot? What do you mean?
Kate, I want you to go outside right now with your hockey stick and your hockey puck, and I want you to try to do a slap shot. That stuff is so hard to do.
I don't have a hockey puck or stick. Jeez. Okay, fine. So maybe it's a little tricky.
It's super cool. It's super cool.
All right. So we needed him, I guess.
But he doesn't know how to skate.
So what do? You have a little rollerblading montage through a mall. That's how we all learn how to skate, isn't it?
I remember as a kid being like, I so want to rollerblade through the mall. This is the coolest thing ever. I remember thinking that was so cool.
I don't know how to roller skate either, so I am Colton, and I would definitely knock into people at the mall.
I would totally help you. It'd be so fun.
Thanks, Bridge, but I'm good. Unless Gordon Bombay wants me to play on his team, then, like, maybe. Like, I'll do it.
You have to be a duck. I mean, if you get asked to be a duck, you can't say no.
That's true. Although they weren't ducks yet, right? I think they turned ducks once Fulton's like, oh, fish.
Yes. But I think this is where the movie's charm, like, turns on, is when Fulton like scores that first goal, they get so excited just to tie.
Yeah.
And then each game you see them like slowly get like over the top. They're like so over the top excited with every goal, everything, and then they like start winning. And I just feel like this is where you're like, okay, they're the underdogs and they just like can't believe they tied and they can't believe they scored a goal. And I don't know, it like was the charm. I loved it.
I did like how they tied the game. Like Disney was kind of like, we're not going to go like soups Disney. Like we're going to like ease into it a little bit, which I actually appreciated. However, then the next scene after they tie their first game is Hans, who may or may not be a ghost or vampire.
A ghost parent.
is talking to Gordon Bombay, and he goes, Gordon, you guys have a shot at the playoffs. And Gordon's like, we literally have lost like every game. He's like, no, Gordon, don't you see? You only need to beat 2 teams, and one of them has the measles. So really you only need to be 1 team. I was like, Hans, what the flip are these rules? Like, I don't understand. Like, this is the weirdest league I've ever heard of.
Literally.
What is going on?
They have like a team of like 10 teams, and if you were in the bottom 2, which should be them, but one team got the measles, so somehow they're better than one other team. Highly doubt it, Hans.
They had to beat someone, but then there's a scene where they forfeit, and I was like, so you lost one, but then I guess they win another, and they're like, never mind. Listen, I think Hans was just like behind it the whole time. Hans is like, I run the league, it's fine, we'll figure it out.
Hans is like, Gordon, I've been waiting for this moment. They've changed the district lines, and now there is a kid, Banks. You can get Banks.
Oh,
and you're like,
my God.
damn, Hans!
Wait,
like the rule book.
The gerrymandering subplot, I cannot, because, like, what are we doing now? Like, now we're getting political, and I don't know what the flip is going on. Like, that was, I don't even know. It was like, we just wanted more kids. Like, we just won't stop with the children. We just wanted more.
I'm gonna tell you, that gave me some real college coach vibes, because, like, okay, so the district's open, so you're gonna, like, steal this poor kid from his team? He's 7'2". Like, leave the kid alone.
I felt really bad for that kid. What was his name?
Banks. Adam Banks.
I felt really bad for Banks because he didn't ask for any of this.
Yeah.
The only good thing is, I guess, he got away from, like, the evil coach, so, like, that's cool. But then he also ends up in the hospital a couple scenes later. So, you know, it's, like, pros and cons, I suppose. But yeah, that was so weird. And then, of course, the, like, dad of the kid and the evil coach are secretly friends with the guy who owns the law firm. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
What?
Ugh.
And then it was more like crusty old white guy, you know, cheating the law because we have money.
Well, and he dangles the like, well, Gordon, you can get your job back if you just accept this plea, and then you don't have to, but the rule is you can't coach anymore, and he's trying to bang Charlie's mom, so he can't let down Charlie, which is also really weird motivation.
so weird.
But he ends up quitting his job, which I would argue is kind of awesome in the moment. It was weird how we got there, but I gave him some street cred. And then he starts to make fun of Mr. Ducksworth by keep saying, thank you very much, Mr. Ducksworth. No problem, Mr. Ducksworth. He just keeps saying weird lines. And I was like, usually people that like quit and leave their job are a little meaner, but you're just like really complimentary in a sarcastic way. And it's like very confusing. I don't know.
He quacked at him a couple times. And I was like, oh my, oh no.
Listeners, if you're going to do anything right in your life, it's when you're leaving your job, you quack at your boss. Who's with me?
Woo! It's the only way to quit. Am I right? Oh, jeez. And then there's some other plot points somewhere in here where Gordon is using sarcasm, talking to the evil coach, saying, "Oh yeah, the kids are losers. Yeah, whatever," and literally says that's sarcastic. And then the children hear it and they're like, "He hates us. He called us losers." And I'm like, this is stupid. Did we need all this up and down? I don't think
dramatic.
So.
It was dramatic. This is where the forfeit came in.
It's the forfeit, and then there's a part where Gordon and Charlie decide to hang out at a diner. It's normal. It's fine. He's a grown man. He's a little boy. What's the problem? I don't know the problem. And Charlie is again yo, look at my hot mom. And then Gordon goes, I'm gonna quit. And then Charlie, literally the camera pans back to Charlie and he's hysterically crying. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this went from 0 to 100, Charlie. It's gonna be okay. I mean, you're getting a little codependent with this man you just met last week. So.
It's terrible.
Not
Wait,
good.
we have to go back to him quacking at Mr. Ducksworth because he has a line that said, "You may have paid for that jersey, but you didn't earn it."
You're not a real duck, Mr. Ducksworth.
Okay, back to poor Charlie trying to pimp out his mom and then crying due to his codependency.
Exactly
he also made Charlie do his dirty work. He's like, hey, so what's the team saying about me? They're still mad. I was like, oh, why does Charlie have to do all the work? And then he's like, hey man, the way you take care of your mom's pretty cool. I'm like, again, he's a kid. Why are we making him be an adult? I hate this.
I hate it.
I didn't like it.
And then magically the next scene, it's so magic. All the children on the team are magically in the same grade, in the same class, at the same time. Somehow we get into a fight, and then they all get detention, and then they all quack at the principal. And that's what they get detention for. Not for the fight, it's for the quack.
Bart Simpson style, they're all writing on the board, I will not quack at principal.
That was amazing. I was like, that's a great line. I'm going to put that on the t-shirt. And then Gordon is able to bust into the school. We don't need ID. We don't need to be a parent. We're just going to go meet with the children alone. Also, no other adult supervision with the children. It's all fine people. It's great. And then he does his speech about quacking and...
sarcasm.
And he's like, do you know it's sarcasm? And the kid's like, sarcasm? Yeah, okay. And he's like, right, so that's sarcasm. So you don't know what that is. And I was like, again, this was stupid. We didn't need this. No, could have skipped it.
I gotta find the one kid who always wore the oversized leather jacket because he was tough.
Oh, that kid looked like he was 5.
He had some Grease Lightning vibes with that jacket.
Oh my god, he definitely did. And at one point he was wearing a sheriff's badge. From the Wild Wild West. I swear to God, Bridget, I was like, who was the stylist? Because
where is he?
There are questions I have.
I can't find him, but...
Yeah, I definitely did not write it down.
It was you called us losers!
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, you're super tough. You're gonna shank me. I'm scared. But then they do a really good ice skating montage.
They do.
Which I was like, they took a page out of Sister Act. This is pretty good.
Yeah, and then also Adam Banks is now on the team.
Which that was a tough transition. Jesse didn't like it. Called him a cake eater.
Yeah, he was being rude. I was like, Jesse, I know we have trust issues because you've lived a hard not life, but Adam's a child.
Also, do you know the rules? Because Adam didn't want to be in this team. So can we all leave Adam alone?
I felt so bad for Adam. I was like, oh, poor guy. But he was good sport about it. And then he scored a goal and everyone's like, wow, great job. Now we like you. And I was like, kids,
yeah,
just be nice.
Just be nice.
Unless they're trying to sell you drugs, like the old white guys. So don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. So this leads up to the big playoff. And so he's like, go out there and have fun. And they're just like ice skating and like just getting rowdy because, you know, we got to the finals and it's all serious and intense. And we ruin it by having a stupid date with Charlie's mom for no reason.
That literally grinded movie to a halt.
Well, it's so sexist. Literally, she's like, every guy that knows I have a kid leaves. And like, are you in this or not? And he's like, what, are we gonna get married on the first date? She's like, yeah, because I'm a woman and the only point of my existence is to know if you're serious or not. I'm like, you're telling me she can't just get laid? Like, this is so annoying.
Well, then she was like trying to be like, no, it's not me. Like, Charlie is so sensitive. Like, I can't have feelings. And I was like, you can have feelings. That's okay. Also, like, maybe Charlie should see a therapist because he just seems to have some attachment issues that are getting in the way of our life. So don't do that. Yeah, I hated all that. I was like, you could have cut the whole subplot. It would have been fine.
No, it was weird. Too much. So we pass by that terrible subplot we get into the game. And he's not joking around with Coach Jack Riley. He's looking at him saying, I'm taking you down. And I think because it's one of the early scenes that doesn't Adam Banks get like sent to the hospital right away?
Literally,
like, is that
because the coach is like, all right, kids, here's our plan. You're gonna literally murder this kid.
Yeah!
I know you guys are friends with him. I used to like him yesterday. Now we hate him. By the way, his dad's my friend and he's over there. Anyway, kill him. Put him in the hospital. And then they do. And then the best was some kid was like, a kid that was on the Hawks team. He goes up to Adam. He's like, oh my God, Adam, oh no. And then he looks up at the other teammate. He goes, what did you do? And the evil teammate is like looking down. It's like scary lighting. And he goes, I did what I had to. And like, that was it. I was like, what's happening?
He was really evil looking too.
I hate it. And then he was out of the movie. And then he was gone forever. We never saw him again. Well, that's not true. We see him at the very end. But like, that sucks.
Oh my God. And like, that's when Gordon like turns into the like protective mom we all knew and loved, where he goes up to Jack and he was like, you're going down. And I'll be honest, Emilio should get an award for this moment because like I felt that acting. I was like, Coach Jack Riley, that wasn't a good move. Like, Gordon's pissed and the Ducks are coming for you.
Although part of me really wishes that he was like, you're going down. Quack, quack, and just like started quacking at him. Like, I think he could have pulled it off menacingly. I do.
Literally, so. I was like, Jordan yells at Jack like a dad. We all feel it. And then I gotta tell you, I couldn't stop watching, which is what I texted you about earlier. And he kept popping his collar like he was like an evil frat boy in the 80s movies. Every time he like did something mean, and I was like, oh God.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, chill out.
We finally used the kids he abducted from skating with her triple axel.
Purpose! Thank God you're here.
Yeah, and wow, it was like a pretty good move. I'm not gonna lie. It was, again, I'm gonna repeat, the annexation of Puerto Rico close, like adjacent. I wish they had names for these because then, like, we could label them, but we never knew the names.
Yeah, and then what, was Tommy, did Tommy score the goal? Who scored the goal? Did we need Tommy? Or did we just want a little redhead? Like, what do we think?
No, we didn't need him because he, like, never participated at all. He just, like, rolled up and he was like, I'm Pete and Pete, and then he, like, never shows up again.
There's a part where then Tammy, after she triple axel sow cows or whatever it's called, and they score the goal, some evil guy then, like, flips her? Like, yeah. And then Fulton decides, guys, I have a crush on her now, so here I go. And then he runs out and he beats the shit out of the guy. And I thought that was really funny.
Okay, I didn't get the vibe he had a crush on her. I got the vibe that Fulton's like, no one's bullying anybody because I am like always the person that comes in out of the shadows and like beats the bullies.
The big duck out here. I don't know. I didn't know if they were trying to make it like, she's a girl, he's a boy. They both skate. I didn't know, like, because there was nothing else like that. And it was like really quick. So you're right. It could have just been like maybe. Well,
because he like stuck up for them and he's always kind of like, do the right thing.
Right.
And it's getting good. I mean, it's getting close. Oh, yes, Kate. She's holding up her hands, folks. And you can't see it, but what is it?
The Flying V.
The Flying V!
Oh, God. People don't forget the Flying V.
Everyone did this as a kid. I did it.
It's iconic.
You did it. We all did it. We all flew like a bee. Yeah, because ducks fly together. And when the wind... Oh, wait. It's the second movie.
Oh, my God, Bridget. I can't with these speeches. I really, really, really loved the added in wind sound effects for this scene. It was like... I was like, what the flip is going on in that sound booth, you guys? Like, we don't need these extra noises.
It was so good.
And then they scored, so that was cool.
It was super cool. We all loved it. It worked.
And then this is where Charlie gets a foul or whatever it's called in hockey. And the ref is like, all right, Gordon, I know this is like PTSD, but like, we're about to do penalty shot. And then this is where Gordon goes, it's time to suck up to my future girlfriend, Charlie! You're gonna do it. And everyone's like, wait, what about Fulton? He's like, nope, we're gonna do my girlfriend's son. That'll look good. And that's what we do.
I'll give you this, though, that Charlie deserved it because he got the breakaway and he got fouled. And yes, he always misses the final shot. But like, if I was a coach, that's the right thing to do. If someone gets a breakaway and they get fouled, you gotta give them the opportunity. Because they're little kids and like, that's how things should work. Like, give them the shot.
But like, you don't think like part of him was like, hey, Charlie's mom, look at my decision.
Totally. And he also was like, little Gordon, you're going to fulfill this through Charlie right now.
Maybe if you score, all the nightmares will stop, Charlie. We can only dream.
Coach Jack Riley's popping his collar and he's like, I haunt your nightmares.
Well, thankfully, this goalie did not look like Pennywise, and then he scores, and they win, and it's great, and then Hans is there too, guys! Don't worry, he was there the whole time, I guess, and he goes, I'm proud of you. I was like, Hans, get the flag out. We're trying to celebrate with the children. You're just like, I need you to step over there. Go back in the shadow.
Katie, I straight up cried. I was so excited. I was like, they won!
It is pretty triumphant.
Charlie won!
It is.
Because he just tells them to have fun. And it was so nice to see the kind of comparison with Gordon, who's like, Charlie, you know what? Give him a triple D because I'm going to coach you on like what to do. And then, you know what? Have fun.
Yep.
And you're just like, yeah, that's like a normal statement that everybody should have. Like, go out there, try your best, but have fun. Like, I love it.
Yeah. And the kids were like super excited and it was sweet. It was a sweet ending.
I know! Because the thing that this movie does well, the kids have the best dialogue. The writers for the kids nailed it. Like you said, every single one of them had like the perfect amount of lines, but balanced each other. Perfection.
Except maybe Danny and Tammy, but it's all right. I mean, Tommy and Tanny, whatever. You know, those people. Except them. But like everyone else.
The arc of Gordon, which I don't think we need the dating, and I don't think we need him being that evil in the beginning, but the arc is pretty good. Yeah. Hans as the mystic is pretty nice.
I mean, yeah, he's all right.
I mean, I do like the idea of him being a real ghost. Like, I kind of love that.
That actually, I think, would be cooler. Like, the whole time, Gordon is just, like, hallucinating, and they're like, Coach Bombay, who you talking to? And he's like, my old friend. And then Hans is like a ghost on the sideline, like, hey, proud of you. That's very Star Wars.
I'm very into that. Or also, like, finding old journal notes where he's like, if Gordon only would have just had fun for that last shot.
Gordon, here's the playbook to teach your ducks.
In 30 years, they're going to change the county lines, and then he'll get Adam Banks on the team. And you're like, oh, ghost Hans.
That would have been great. Can we put that in the show, people? Come on.
And then we end with Gordon deciding, now that I've lost my job because I quacked at my boss and it's too embarrassing to go back. Pee-wee hockey doesn't really pay because we're volunteering. I've lost the limo and all of my salary. I'm going to go now with zero training.
Yep.
Try out for the minor hockey leagues because I used to be good 30 years ago. Let me tell you, that's not how that works. Your body isn't going to do that. Like, no. You need to practice. You need to go back, hit the gym, lift some weights. Like,
Bridget,
it's not good.
fine because there was one scene where they met some other, like, I guess, like, pro-fesh hockey players, and they were like, oh my god, it's Gordon Bombay! You remember that 6-year-old from 80 years ago? Wow, what a legend, man. You could have a spot any day. I'm like, what is this scene?
Can you imagine?
What is this scene? And then I guess it was for the ending, but like, why did we... Bob? That's a Bob scene.
That's literally like Brett Favre being like, God. Ben Stiller, you were the best football player as a 7-year-old. You should totally date Mary. And everyone's like, what? Brett Favre. Yeah. Ridiculous.
It was so absurd. You know what? We overlook it because the rest is golden. So
it's golden.
Well done.
It does, I think, hold up.
Yes, I agree.
I 100% recommend you all watch this for a feel-good moment and maybe skip through some of Gordon's evil parts in the beginning.
And the weird date. You don't, that's not...
Yeah, skip through the date part. I mean, he kisses her at the end. Ugh, like, so boring.
It's gross.
Well, Kate, are you ready for the next pick?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a lot different than Disney.
Okay, that's all right. I don't hate that.
It is still in the 1990s, so sorry, but there's just so many good ones.
We're just blowing through them. It's fine.
I'm going to give you a little hint, though. That's kind of a tough one. In Space Jam, there was a reference with one of the Looney Tunes to this movie, and you called it out.
Oh, I know what it is right now.
What is it?
I know. Pulp Fiction.
Yeah!
Yeah!
I can't believe you remembered that! Wow!
Because I remember us talking about that.
Ooh, baby, we're going to the lives of two mob hitmen, a boxer, a gangster, and his wife, and a pair of diner bandits intertwined in 4 tales of violence and redemption.
Okay, is this our first Quentin Tarantino movie?
Definitely.
Whoa.
John Travolta's not Danny DeVito, or Danny Zuko.
Danny DeVito, I love your work! No, definitely not Danny DeVito, that's for sure. Samuel Jackson, what a queen.
Uma
Bruce
Thurman.
Willis.
Wow, this is a heavy-hitting cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of random... Because it's like ensemble, if you will. Oh, I haven't seen this one in a while. Uma Thurman!
And then we got the famous dance scene. We got blood. We got drama. We got intrigue.
A lot of death and blood and... Yeah.
And we all remember, like, the needle scene, because, like, that was intense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What year did this come out?
1994. Okay, Kate.
Bridge.
I just want to let you know that if you happen to have a terrible hockey coach that comes up with a limo and yells at you, and you're just 7 years old...
Yep.
And you're feeling like, you know what, this is wrong, this isn't right, I would step in and call him a cake eater.
Whoa, boy, I love it. Well, and Bridge, if you were also a 7-year-old on the ice, unsupervised, with potentially orphaned children, and a rich white guy came up in a limo on the ice and tried to talk with you, I would tell him to step off and stop trying to sell us drugs.
Step off! Step off!
And then I would quack in his face.
Ooh.
But he'd probably like that, so like...
Oh, wait, I got a new one. Kate?
Bridge.
If you ever, like, don't like your work situation and your boss happens to have the last name of Ducks... And you wanna quack, but you think you need, like, some, like, support, I will quack as you quit with you, so it gives, like, some oomph with your exit.
Quack. Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Oh,
Ducks! Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. What a ride. And listeners, if you also would like to leave your job by quacking, you should write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. If you go on our main page, you can scroll down and there is a form you can fill out to request a movie.
Ooh.
You can also listen to some episodes on there. We've got info, links to all our social media, all that good stuff. And Bridge, what else can they do on the website?
You can buy us coffee!
Wow! No. Yes.
We don't need a lot.
Well,
okay, well, we need a lot, and by we, I mean Katie, for specifically editing these episodes because you need some caffeine to get through it. We talk a lot.
Yep. So yeah, you can buy us coffee and do all that, write a review, check out our website. You can also email us, sisterswhoseenit@gmail.com. We always appreciate emails. We appreciate checking out the website. We appreciate it all, listeners.
We really do.
We do. So do that and go quack at your boss.
And honestly, we're getting close. We're not there yet to our 1 year.
Woo!
And Kate, this is 50, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, we didn't really hype that up. It's our 50th episode!
50! Holy cow!
Yeah.
50.
That is wild.
I really feel like, we use all these like sites that like, kind of help us with the podcast stuff, and they give us these milestones. And 50 is a wild milestone. I cannot believe we did this, and I can't believe we almost have a year. And like, Kate, this is like my routine now. Like, I have to brush my teeth, I have to shower, I have to do a podcast with you. Like, this year is just part of the week. Like, that's just what it is,
Yeah. It's been a fun ride, and it's gonna keep being fun, so stick around.
Don't stop believing.
Quack, 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 quack.
Now you're gonna transition to Pulp Fiction.
That's a song, right?
I think so.
I think
Is
it's
it?
a song. I don't
Pulp
know.
Fiction? What's your song? Pulp Fiction.
I know a lot of them in Kill Bill, but I think that's in Pulp Fiction. All right, listeners. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Pulp Fiction.
See you then.
Go
lace up your skates and get to practice.
Lace up your skates. Get your free pair of skates from Hans, or pay $50,000 for them. What else?
Bye-bye. Love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.